Hello, greetings. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Austin, and I'm coming to you live again, courtesy the Kringle Private Society. And today, I'm here to give us another broadcast. And it appears that going forward, I'm going to be giving regular broadcasts. The whole idea of making broadcasts is to make it look like the conventional news media. But this kind of broadcast or news are realistic news, things that are true and not things that are lies. The bulk of what we hear from the media are not really true. They are actually false informations to a good extent. Some of them, yeah, are true, but a good number of them are propagandas and are manipulations to make you think that you are getting the right info. But on the other hand, in our Kringle Private Society, we are here to give us the truth. And as many who would choose to key in with us, they are going to get the whole truth. All right. So today, the title of my broadcast is "In the Kringle Community, There is No Room for Fraud." That's the title of my broadcast. Now, I would have talked about a whole number of other things, but the reason why I'm here to give this broadcast is because of the recent events that has been happening within our Kringle Private Society, which I'm also going to share with us. And I'm going to refer back to our old blog. There is something that we need to look into in our old blog so that you will understand what our Kringle Society are working to achieve. And then finally, we'll conclude on our promo. Our promo is doing very well. Now, I made a video yesterday, which fortunately was put on the blog. And if you haven't listened to it, do well to refer to the blog and listen to it. The reason why I'm telling this is because I am making sure that everyone is up to date within this community so that you wouldn't be left behind, because we are really moving fast, and then shortly we are going to move into a new kind of system. Generations are fundamental concerning this Kringle Society. As we get more organized, we will have to make sure that we shed off our old skin and then put on new skins, just like how reptiles also behave. But then we are not reptiles. We are actually a righteous breed, a righteous movement, moving towards the world of abundance. That's what we are doing. So I'm going to share my screen, and then after sharing my screen, I would move into the content of what we had today, or what we have today. Okay, my screen is being shared. Now, before I begin officially, I would appreciate it if you share this video and also give a thumbs up if the information I'm passing across is helpful or it's reasonable to you. Okay, so we're referring back to our old blog. That's what we are going into. And there is something I have to bring out of this old blog. It's actually something that so many of us may not be aware of, but there is an old blog. Now, being an old blog doesn't mean that it is out of date, because most of the informations here are still very valid. Yeah, most of the informations here are still evergreen. Okay, so I'm going to refer to a very, very, sorry, I'm going to refer to a very, very sensitive article. And hold on. I think I'm coming. Okay, no, not this. This is it. This is the particular article I'm talking about. Now, we are looking forward to see what our achievements this year will be. The achievements this year, 2021, will be put down by the administration. And I can tell you a few of the achievements. Number one, global adoption. Number two, food subsidy. We are going to have at least two food subsidies before the year runs out. And number three, we are going to perfect in our facial verification so that it becomes one person, one account. Number four, we are going to fill out our core team, which are going to be 11,100. Number 5, the old members will be called into account. As old members who think that they are entitled to their coins or it's an investment, you will be called for a roundtable discussion, and we will hear your views. And then after we've heard your views, we also give you our own views based on the concept of meritocracy, and then allow you a time to reform. After which, if you refuse to reform, then we do the needful. These are some of the achievements we are going to get this year, and then we are going to keep moving forward. I'm just giving you a tip of the iceberg. So let's move into our major content. Now, greed versus abundance. Now, the reason I am referring to this article is because of what the TBC members, active members in the community are doing. So many of them just go to YouTube because of this particular promotion that is going on. Let me refer to the main blog. Okay, so the main blog, this promo that is going on now, this promo that
welcome to your dashboard instead of the Kringle.
This promo that is currently going on now is actually causing a whole lot of saga. Now, TBC is a system that shows a concept of integrity, and it appears that there are what we call mixed multitudes in our Kringle private society, and these mixed multitudes are lazy sets of people that do not want to make any efforts, and they are overtaken by greed and wants to get 10 TBC by making broadcasts, and they are not even making broadcasts. What they are doing is they are stealing broadcasts. Listen, we are tightening up every security system in our Kringle private society. This system is a corrective system. TBC is an act of God, because when we look into the time of old, you find out that, now I'm referring to the scriptures here. Now you will find out that the Israelites had a promise by God to get to a particular location. Now they called that their promised land, and there were some people who were there, and those people continued living the lives as they liked, and they kept doing what they liked, and those things were abominations, and at some point they were overthrown. Now when you look at it on a holistic or global scale, mankind has come to the point where there is a need for an intervention by God. And it pleased God to use the Kringle Society to do this. Now, you may think I'm talking out of point or I am bluffing, but time shall unveil all these things I'm saying. If you are a member in the community, please tighten your seatbelts, because we are on for a ride. We are going to undo a whole lot of wrongs. We are going to correct a whole lot of wrongs. So if you are a member in the community and you are overtaken by greed or a kind of unreasonable nature, prepare yourself to be taken out. And listen, at the point we are now, some people has already been taken out as members of the community because of what you call unjust gain. Why would you want to reap where you didn't sow? That's unjust gain. You have to make effort. The administration said making a broadcast is as easy as ABC. It doesn't matter how long. You should have at least a 5 minutes of broadcast. There is so much to say. I've been making broadcasts now for over a week, and every day I give something new. That's something that should marvel you, that each time I come out, I don't say the same thing twice. They may look similar, but they are quite different. So why would someone choose to steal someone's broadcast? You go to YouTube and you begin to gather efforts that people has made. Of course, YouTube also pays them, but why would you choose to steal from someone else's system? That's an ungodly system. And trust me, the TBC community will fish you out. Today's broadcast I'm going to give, it's a documentary that has already been put by the administration. I'm going to quickly peruse, or will I say read through, and then as I read through, I would explain to you to the best of my knowledge, and then we will conclude by saying a few things in our Kringle Cash, and tomorrow we'll continue from where we stop. So stay with me and listen to the content of the administration, because I am only a voice. I am airing the voice of the administration. I am open to also air my own voice. But one thing is sure in the community, do not be negative, even though you don't like what's going on. Please, this is the only thing that is required of members in the community. Negativity brings in an energy, and that energy is not an energy that is going to be productive. So bear this in mind. So let's go to this, and now let's read together. Now, this is a particular picture. Like I always say, the administration uses pictures to explain something. Now, these guys are just ordinary men. Yeah, they are more like corporate kinds of people. But the point is that they are holding hands together and they are moving forward. This particular guy is still trying to get to terms with how the system works. But still, this person is trying to explain. It is expected that this is the upline. The point is, it's a chain, it's an interlock system. So the system of the Kringle Society is an interlock system. It's an interdependency kind of system. So everything that is put in the TBC community is deliberate. Nothing is put by mistake. Anything that you think is a mistake, it's not a mistake. Over time, you begin to see how it happens or the reality of why it was put down. Now, I'm also going to say a whole number of things in the event of time. Just stay with me as I continue to make my broadcast. Now, let's read. The article is very short. It's very short. And there's supposed to be a video that is supposed to be here. I do not know why the video is not showing. Hold on. Now, that video is for you to actually watch on your own. That's exactly, the video it's now live. And I think this is it. So for you to check this out, all you just need to do is go to the old blog. It's blog.thebillioncoin.eu. Greed versus abundance under the search engine, and it brings this out. So listen as I make my explanations. TBC, this is an old blog, but then it still has a green kind of understanding. Green in the sense that it is still fresh. Now let's continue. TBC is at the beginning. Now this is as at then, but we are still in the distribution phase. So let's continue because we haven't come up to 5 million yet. We are not yet 10 million. So it's not out of place to say it is still at the beginning. We have not even come up to 1 million active members. Let's be realistic. We have members over 4 or close to 4 million. Yeah, but then we are building 1 billion active members. So let's continue. We are gathering. After gathering, we will sort. Then after sorting, we will now go into the final stage. And then the final stage is changing the entire world. We will gather, we will sort, and then the active ones who are now willing to change the world, which will be comprising of 1 million billionaires and 1 billion millionaires, will go and then recreate the world for good. So TBC is at the beginning of the distribution phase, and we are focused on creating billionaires for the TBC economy. Now, just listening to the words of the administration. Now, there is about 1 million spots open right now that needs to be filled. Hopefully, before the end of December 2021. December 2021. Now, this is an old blog, but it has a green effect. Now, at this time, I would ask each of you to carefully examine your hearts. Listen, this is an information that the admin is saying. I'm giving this blog because it particularly suits the present context of what is going on now in the Kringle Society. People are playing deceitfully. So at this point, or at this time, I would ask each of you to carefully examine your hearts. Becoming a billionaire will certainly open a door into your hearts for one of two spirits to come into it. Be very attentive, please. Billionaire status will either fill your heart with the spirit of greed or the spirit of abundance. How can you tell the difference between these two spirits? Listen carefully. Both will say you have so much. You are a billionaire in the making. Your destiny is wonderful and great. Confusing so far, right? Yeah, confusing so far. Well, for someone reading for the first time, the answer is yes. Now, both spirits seem to empower you. I agree. Now, here is how you can tell the difference. Abundance, by definition, cannot be self-contained. What does it mean for abundance to not be self-contained? Let's keep reading. Abundance overflows. Greed, on the other hand, will attempt to capture and keep wealth all to itself. And that's exactly what some people are doing. Stealing, making efforts that was, or stealing efforts that belongs to some other people. And that's a concept or a product of greed. Greed is stingy. Nobody wants to pay the admin fee. And when they pay the admin fee, they want to get more than they are qualified to get. They want to gather and empty the admin wallet because they think that they just paid 8 grains of gold. And because of that, they have every right to collect all of the admin wallet. Listen, the system is automated. That doesn't mean that you can fool the system. The system will fish you out because there are so many people who are called mixed multitude with the elite mindset. We are going to make you understand you can't use the elite mindset to work with the Kringle Society. So you have to unlearn what you've already learned. You have to relearn, and you continually keep learning by listening to broadcasters and getting the right understanding. Let your mindset be changed and be changed for good. Greed is stingy. It hates to give or share. It hates to give or share. So you listening to me, I really don't know how often you share TBC to your loved ones. For myself, people are beginning to dislike me for the fact that I tell everyone about the truth. And as long as I'm concerned, the gospel is actually good news. And I can tell you categorically that TBC is a gospel and it's actually good news. And people that do not like good news mean they hate the light. They prefer darkness. And darkness is people that enjoy the elite system. And I tell you the truth, except you are lying to yourself. If you are not lying to yourself, you will come to terms to understand that what I'm saying is true. Do not allow your mind to give you a lie. Your mind may be telling you that I may be saying something contrary, but if you look into your heart, you'll find out that everything around us is actually a concept of a lie. Even in Instagram, people live fake lives. When you check it, you find out that they have problems, they have challenges, but it looks like they're actually living life large. But that's a big lie. You have to be sincere and truthful. My broadcast is natural. I'm not putting up any form of something to beautify myself. You are seeing it at face value. So the bottom line I'm driving at is that there are what you call products of greed, products of the elites, products of greed. It hates to give, it hates to share. I really don't know how many of us share this good news about TBC. Greed comes out of fear. Greed comes out of fear. Some people are still thinking that TBC at some point is going to crash. TBC has stayed 5 years and it is getting stronger. So many people are having this quick gratification syndrome. Now, I made a video and said that those that will be members of the Kringle Society will be purged, and they will be purged like gold. They have to come out fine as gold. Now, if you are willing to go through that purging process, you are welcome. But trust me, it won't be easy. When you are purging gold and removing impurities at a very high temperature, it would not come. If you were to ask gold at that point, gold will tell you that, man, that this is so difficult. And if you asked gold, do you stop? Do you want us to stop? Gold will say, yes, stop. Well, listen, for every activity that you are going to face in life, you will be empowered by your creator. Your creator will give you the strength to pass through. And when you come out, the whole world will see you, will love you, will respect you. And they would always wish that you are around them. That's what you call shining as lights. And that is what you call a system that is based on the principle of abundance. It's all about your mindset. Greed comes out of fear. If you are building the TBC community, or you are thinking that TBC will crash, or TBC will at some point have challenges, challenges always comes. That's part of growing pains. But trust me, we already have an engineered concept of overcoming every challenge we go through, provided we are keeping our jurisdiction under a private community status. Abundance comes out of love. When you are afraid of sharing or sharing too much, you are filled with the spirit of greed. Some people do not enjoy sharing, and it's something that is now becoming more obvious. I mean, you find people who are greedy. Everybody wants to get and get. Even the system, the financial system, loses its value. So it encourages people to keep getting and getting. But then looking at our system is measured in gold, grains of gold. and that maintains a stable value. As we build our membership into 1 billion, we are going to change the whole world system to a kind of gold backed system. We are not going to be the ones to make it a gold backed system. The elites are going to do that. But you will find out that by the time they've gone about implementing a gold backed system, we are already having foresight of what they are likely going to do, are already measured in grains of gold. Now, our private status gives us room to go about it that way. If we say we are backed up by gold, it has some legal background, and then on that grounds, the elite can come and infringe on what we are doing. But measuring something is anything can be measured by anything. That's one thing you should bear in mind. So everything that was penned down by the administration was deliberately penned down. It was not something that was actually done irrationally. Now, we made some mistakes, but when you refer back to our public notice, we apologized openly, saying going forward we would not do that. So listen to this information and please take the necessary corrections. The final destination of greed is self-destruction. The final destination of greed is self-destruction, and self-destruction of the one filled with greed. And this is where most people are moving into. Final destruction of greed is final destination of greed is self-destruction of the one filled with greed. And this is what is happening now. Everyone wants to gather and are selfish, and they don't want to give. Now, the end of this greed is not going to be nice. Now, there is a life after this life. Some of you do not want to know, but then this is the truth. There is a life after this life, and you are going to face you're going to be judged based on how well you have given out or how well you have withdrawn. In our Kringle Society, nothing is yours. And I think that's an idea, and I love that idea. You came into this world with nothing, you are going out of this world with nothing. But then it's only based on your deeds that you will be judged. So you should start building a mindset of giving, and giving. Not giving in an unreasonable manner, but giving in a very intelligent and rational manner. That's why our system is not based on the principle of profit. It's based on the principle of what? Giving, equity, So that's subject for another discussion. Greed will lie and not admit that its journey is a suicide mission. So one of the things that you find out about greed is it's accompanied with lies. People that go to steal people's broadcast, when the hammer falls on their head, they will sneak into the member helper meetings and start pretending like they are holy saints. Who are you deceiving? Listen, there is no going back once your account is blocked and then your Kringles are wiped out or your TBC. It doesn't matter how much. That's the end. You don't get it back. So learn this lesson as you are listening. If you haven't fallen into that category, please don't fall into that category. Greed will lie and not admit that its journey is a suicide mission. So in the examination of your heart, ask yourself if you have embraced greed. If you have, I will show you how to replace that spirit with the spirit of abundance. Now, the spirit of abundance, permit me to say, is of God, because nature has the attitude of abundance. When you wound yourself, you get injured. Nature heals you naturally. Nature heals you naturally. It just happens. Everything about system that is based on the concept of the human body. Even nature itself can heal itself. Yes, the world system has been so damaged, but provided we as Kringle Society exist, we are going to return the world to the way it originally was. It will look like the Garden of Eden. I can tell you, God is doing something wonderful on a global scale and wants to change the reality, the narrative. He wants the rich that are so puffed up with pride to lose everything if they don't change or have a change of hand and then adjust their mind to embrace the principle of abundance. Everything you see today, all the wealthy people that you see today that are stinkingly rich, if you check their background, you'll find out that there is what you call a principle based on a concept based on the principle of greed. And that's why they keep getting and keep getting and keep getting and keep getting, and they keep being known across the world. But when you look into them, you'll find out that their system is leading into a path that may not be glorious. But then in our system, it's a system that is building on truth and righteousness. But this community seems to attract that this community seems to attract those that are already possessed with the spirit of abundance. Well, it's just true, but then you will find out that some false individuals, which will soon be fished out, will sneak in thinking they are smart. I hope you don't fall into this category because you would not like it. And I tell you, you are going to be so shamed very soon. It's going to be made public when you are involved in some ungodly acts. You are going to be shamed on an open basis. And I'm telling you what is going to happen if you do not take the necessary correction. So, as you examine your heart and you find that it is filled with the spirit of abundance, just know that God has answered admin's prayer to fill up our TBC membership with people like you. I like what the administration said. Let me repeat it. So, as you examine your heart and you find that it is filled with the spirit of abundance, just know that God has answered admin's prayer to fill up our TBC community with people like you and carry on with greater confidence. So the whole idea is that as we build our membership into 1 billion, the 1 million members in our TBC community will be all billionaires that love righteousness, that have right standing with their God, that are in agreement with the principles laid down by their creator. It will take some time. So those of us who are waiting to get quick gratification, at some point you'll get tired and you'll fall off. And I want you to understand that the system of TBC community is a recycling system. We are only going to have 1 billion coins, and it will be in the hands of 1 billion active members. And in extension, it will also be in the hands of the rest of humanity over time. So those who are going to be righteous are the ones that will fill out this system. Don't ask me how. Just watch and see how it unfolds. Now, these spirits have influence on all of your resources, and not just money you have. It has influence on everything you have. I mean, these informations are very excellent. Everyone has 24 hours a day of time. Time by far is way more valuable than money, and I'm in agreement with that. Now, are you only self-serving with your time? Then the spirit of greed has got you in its grasp. It's also telling you that, are you stingy? Are you self-serving? Meaning your time is for you and you alone. You don't have time to help out other people. It's a question that is asking you. Well, then greed also has its own grip on you. Now, let's continue. Friendship, business connections, knowledge, skills, talent, personal comfort, and the list goes on and on of things that are considered resources. Let's go again. Then the spirit of greed has got you in their grasp. Now, that's because you are not giving out your time. Now, let's continue. Friendship, business connections, knowledge, skills, talent, personal comfort, and the list goes on and on are things that are concerned or considered as resources. Now, are you a giver or a taker? Do you already know that your resources are basically seeds? I like that. Your resources are basically seeds. Now, it doesn't matter how it comes. It may be physical, it may be intangible. Now, we are overtaken by the mind of physical, tangible money, physical, tangible fiat. But then it could be anything, provided there is a concept of agreement. Those things are seeds. And the reason why you are on earth is to affect lives and then pass on. Leave a legacy behind. That's the whole idea. And TBC community are going to build billions of people that are willing to make the world a better place and leave a legacy behind. Let's continue. And that when you plant and nurture, that it multiplies your seeds. Yeah, some of your seeds will fall on stony grounds, and regardless of how much you nurture those seeds, they will not produce. That's the heart of men. Now, some people you help, they will repay you with evil. Some people you help, they run away. Some people you help, well, a few of them will return good. And I pray that you find the right people that you help and they will return your favor to you. So let's continue. But abundance doesn't mind that. Ah, mama, this is sweet. I mean, the heart with which the administration made this thing is I don't know. It's just wow. Because overall, your seeds will multiply if you do what is required for that to happen. Laziness is certainly a byproduct of greed. Laziness is certainly a byproduct of greed. Those lazy guys that are coming here and think they can find their way in the TBC community, well, hold on. Shortly, we will find you out. And when we find you out, our concept of excommunication is real. Let me tell you a bit about excommunication. Now, when excommunication 1.0, what is excommunication 1.0? If you lose your account, well, that's if you are caught involving in some greedy activities and then you want to reap where you didn't sow, your account will be lost. Your Kringles, your Bitcoin, your TBC will be lost. Your bounty, everything you have will be lost. You will not get it back. That is excommunication 1.0. Excommunication 2.0 is when we lock your facial verification. That means you would never be a member in our Kringle Society. Listen, we are getting to excommunication 2.0, and once that is done, it's final. Do not allow yourself to fall into this category, because when that happens, you are out. And let you understand that we are going to have so much influence globally, politically, mentally, in every dimension of this life that you will wish you were a member in the TBC community. Don't fall into this category. Please, I am craving your indulgence now. So, I'm almost through. If you find that your heart has invited greed to reside there, then you need to love yourself enough to alter your self-destructive course. Now, ultimately, the system only encourages greed. So what the administration is actually implying is that leave their system. You are consenting to their system. Come into the Kringle Society. We are building it into 1 billion. We are asking you to gradually move along with us. Yes, you can still move on with the fiat system, but over time, we are going to gain so much dominance that it would not be profitable. It will become parasitic to continue to thrive on their system. So you may need to move in 100%, possibly when we are 5, 10, 20 million or thereabouts, which is supposed to be about in the next few months or by next year. This is what we are going to do. So we are calling you to be aware of what is happening. And if you choose to remain on that course and you look at me and you laugh at me, well, time shall differentiate the sheep from the goats. Now, do you really want to be on a suicide mission? What's a suicide mission? A suicide mission is something that you will hear now. Listen, if you have lost hope for yourself and can't even love yourself enough to make these adjustments, prayer is the only way out or the only answer left. So the administration is telling you that if you are thriving on a system that is based on greed, then that's a suicide mission. Remember, I said that your life on earth is going to be judged. You are going to give account of how you have helped, whether you have built on greed or you have built on love. You may have started with greed, but at some point you change and continue with love. There is so much love has to offer. And love and greed, they look similar. They are not the same thing. Now, love has to continue to give. Greed has to continue to collect. When you have abundance, some people that are so wealthy on this earth, they have what you call, in quotes, abundance based on the principle of greed. That's why there is so much poverty in our world. And they have planned it. It's what you call a planned poverty concept, where some countries like Africa are so poor, though they have one of the major natural resources. And they have also put some Asians under that settlement or that system of poverty. And on their own side, there are some countries like the Western world that are so wealthy. Well, they want to make sure that the rest of humanity are put on a universal basic income. If you are listening to me, please take the necessary action. Come out of poverty. Come out of greed. Join our Kringle Private Society. My links are below. If you are already a member, please stay awake. Don't sleep. Stay awake. All right, let me finish. I'm almost up. If you have lost hope for yourself and can't even love yourself enough to make this is the only answer left, hopefully someone else is praying for you. The fact is that I like every bit of the write-up the administration said. He actually associated everything here with a supernatural force, which is our creator. And some words like prayer, some words like your creator, some words like abundance, these things are coming out of a pure heart. And I love that kind of heart. May God give me such kind of heart to love humanity and take care of humanity with the resources given to me. Of course, you should know what those resources are, the Kringle coins. Okay, so let's continue. Hopefully, someone else is praying for you, even if you refuse to pray for yourself. I pray God helps each and every one of us. Yeah, I have come to the conclusion of this. Now, some of you could watch this particular video. I don't have the time to watch it, but I believe I've passed my message. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about, which I always talk about before I call it quits. Tomorrow, my broadcast is going to be about the TBC community and also about scarcity and about cryptocurrencies and a few number of other things. I wouldn't want to hit the nail on the head, but join me on my broadcast tomorrow about the same time. Yeah. So I really don't know, but it's between 8:30 or 8:15 and 9, between 8:15 and 9 o'clock or 9:45. Between 8:15 and 9 a.m. tomorrow going forward, it's within that time. Just subscribe to my channel. If you haven't subscribed, do so that when I'm live, you get the notification. Now, I want to congratulate members of our Kringle Society. We are doing well. We are already in 318 or 500. And today's date is 15th, meaning that we just entered half of the month. If we entered half of the month, we're already in 315. Then that means when we are at the later part of the month, we are getting to 500 and something. I am hoping people don't fall out. Obviously, nature is always going to repeat itself. So people will definitely fall out. So for those of us that will fall out, so for those of them that will fall out, I want you to understand that I don't know, my heart goes out to you. If you are listening and you fall out, my heart goes out to you. I want to say I'm so sorry because you allowed the last minute to get, you allowed yourself to get to the last minute. So bear with the administration when he refuses you from getting 500 TBC, though you've paid your yearly subscription. Do not say you were not warned. I'm hoping no one falls out. Of course, people will fall out. It's just an unfortunate thing. Human beings always likes repeating that cycle. So we are moving well, and the admin wallet is still depleting as it should be. And very soon we get to 500 million, and that's when real business will start. When we get to 500 million, you are going to say, "Woo! I'm excited to be in the TBC community." Let me stop here. We'll continue again tomorrow by the grace of God. All right, thank you very much. So till I come your way again, it's already 38 minutes. Cheers, and have a wonderful day. God bless you. Bye for now.